Hi guys, time for me to be naked in front of the camera. That came out wrong. And so I'm going to do a tutorial. We shot a video a little while ago in which I wore makeup that was quite similar to the makeup I wore on my wedding day, and someone asked for a tutorial, so here it is. It's quite a classic look. I did think about going all kind of golden goddess for the wedding because it was overseas in summer and I was nice and tan, but on the day it didn't really feel right and I ended up just going with something quite classic. And it's something that you really can wear day to day. It's nothing over the top. So I'm going to do a variation of it today, and then I'll tell you kind of what I did to make it more weddingy, like I wore false lashes and stuff like that. So let's get started. Okay, on the day I used a mixture of 2 shades of the Estee Lauder Double Wear Light, which is the most fantastic foundation. It doesn't budge, it's incredibly light on the skin, it's totally weightless, you can't feel it on, and it also is totally invisible. It's quite amazing. I don't have a colour that suits me at the moment though, so I'm going to use my Rimmel Wake Me Up foundation, which I really like and is the perfect shade for me at the moment. And I'm just going to work that in with my Real Techniques buffing brush. And I am not one of those people who can just wear foundation on certain parts of my face. If you can do that and you have found the sort of perfect foundation shade for you, then that's wonderful, but I'm a all-over girl, I'm afraid. Okay, next up I'm going to conceal. I do this every single day and it is my favorite combination for getting rid of the bags under my eyes. Bobbi Brown Corrector, this is light to medium bisque, and then the Clinique Airbrush concealer, which is more of a highlighting concealer. So the corrector helps to neutralize the purple under my eyes, and the highlighter just kind of helps to lighten the area a little bit and make me look a bit more wide awake. So make sure you bring it right into the corners here because this can also be very dark, and just neutralize all the purple. And then I go in with the Airbrush concealer. This is the shade Neutral Fair, number 4. And this is where I kind of highlight down the front of my cheek and up the cheekbone. And then I just blend it with my finger. There we go. Next up I'm going to do my eyebrows. On the day I used Anastasia Brow Wiz, which you can't get here but is easily the best eyebrow product in the universe. This is the Smashbox Brow Tech to Go in the colour Taupe, which I have to say I also highly rate. I think it's a great eyebrow product. Now that the base is done, you might want to do some spot concealing, but I don't need it because this is quite a high coverage foundation and also I don't really have spots at the moment. So yeah, if you want to do that, you might want to kind of conceal around your nose. I do remember doing a little bit of that on the day just to try and even out my skin tone as much as possible. So you might want to do that, but I'm pretty much done for now, except I just want to powder quickly under my eyes to set my concealer. I use the MAC Prep+Prime translucent setting powder. It's called transparent finishing powder. And this is the Real Techniques setting brush, which is nice and small and just means that I can very easily get right into the space under my eye and lightly set the concealer with the powder. Okay, next I'm going to make a start on the eyes. Again, on the day I used an Urban Decay primer potion, and I'm going to show you this NYX High Definition Eyeshadow Base, which is very similar. You can get it at Clicks. It works really well. There's 2 kinds, one that comes in a white pot and then there's this one, but the white pot one doesn't work so well. So I'd suggest getting hold of this, and it's relatively cheap. And you just dot it on your eyes and blend it in, and it'll not only hold on to your eyeshadow and make sure that your shadows don't crease, but it also will help to improve the pigmentation of anything you put over it so that the shadows appear brighter and stronger. Okay, I don't remember exactly what I did to my eyes on the day. I just know roughly what the colors were that I used. So I'm going to use my MAC palette. These are all MAC eyeshadows. This isn't actually an Inglot palette from the old shape of the Inglot eyeshadows, but they do fit the MAC ones and they're cheaper. Well, they were cheaper. So I'm going to start off with Naked Lunch, which is this champagne-y shade here. And then I'm going to go into the crease with a color called Quarry, which is a matte taupe purple color. That's this one here. And then I'm going to blend out the corners of the eye with Satin Taupe and use a little bit of that underneath. and all using a combination of blending brushes. So I've got my MAC 217, I've got a little Sephora crease brush here, and then I've got this blending brush that I bought from Boutique, which is in our latest haul, which is very, very soft, and I think it's better for blending out than applying shadow. It just doesn't have a lot of integrity in the bristles. They're very, very soft. So I'll use a combination of those, and let's go. Okay, now that that's done, I'm going to use a black powder eyeshadow. I'm going to be using the shade Blackout from the Naked 2 palette. But any matte black shade will do. I know there's one in the Steeler palette that Camilla uses. There's one in one of the Sleek palettes I've got. I mean, they're so easy to find. And a very skinny angled brush. This is a MAC 263. And I'm just going to use the powder to line the top lash line instead of using a crayon or gel liner, just because it's a little bit softer and I think better for day. Okay, what I did on the day is after I'd done the powder, I added a very, very thin line of gel liner just to give it a little bit more impact and also to help disguise the line of the false lashes that I added. But for day to day, I don't think it's really necessary. If you use a primer, the black won't move at all, as will none of the other shadows, and I think it really does help to give a bit of definition, but in a nice soft way. Next, I'm going to finish off the eye by tightlining the top in black and the bottom with a nude pencil. These are both by Rimmel. You can't get them here, but again, these color pencils are around. Just make sure that you use a waterproof one or a gel liner for the top line. Going to follow up with mascara, and on the day I used my fail-safe combo of Clinique High Impact Extreme Volume Mascara in black and then also black bottom lash mascara. Now that the eyes are done, I'm going to go back to my skin and I'm going to do bronzer and blusher. I'm going to start with the bronzer, and I'm going to use NARS Laguna, which was the one I used on the day and it's my favorite bronzer. You can't get it here, but Body Shop do a lovely light bronzer, as do Bobbi Brown and NYX and a bunch of other drugstore brands. So it's not hard to find a nice bronzer. And all I did was take it around the edges of my face and along my cheekbones. And it really does help to warm up your complexion. It's a great trick in winter, especially or now, especially at the beginning of spring as well, when you're starting to feel extra pale now the sun is shining on your Edward Cullen-like skin. And then finally for skin, we're going to do blusher. I used NARS Orgasm on the day, which is my favorite blusher. And it's so nice because it means you don't also have to highlight, because it's got a little shimmer in it as well. I would say the closest dupe for that I found here is NYX Pinched Blush from Clix, which is the one that I will use. And I've forgotten my blush brush. And here it is, as if by magic. So just swirl the brush in the color and gently do the apples of your cheeks. So you can see the sheen that it picks up there, which is really nice and pretty, especially when you have a natural tan. Last but not least, I'm going to do lipstick, and I treated myself to this little gorgeousness from Chanel. It's the Rouge Coco Shine in number 54 Boy, which you will have heard me talk about and Camilla talk about. And there wasn't really any lip liner or anything going on. I literally just put it on from the bullet. It's not the most long-wearing lipstick. I think I reapplied it about 19 times. But it's a beautiful color, and I have to say, I'm very, very glad that I spent the money on it, because it does make you feel all sorts of fancy whipping out a Chanel lipstick whenever you need to top up. And that was pretty much it. I did a little bit of extra contouring on the day, and like I said, topped up the lipstick a lot, had the liquid liner on my eyes and the false lashes, but otherwise this is pretty much the look, and I think you could wear it to certain degrees every single day. You maybe not wear the liner or not put in the satin taupe, but I think it's a great everyday look. And if you have any other suggestions for tutorials or things you'd like to see, please leave a comment below or send us a tweet or comment on one of the Instagrams, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.